How's it going, guys? Jumper here. So today we're going to be ranking all the Warzone guns. It's going to be a precursor since Vanguard is going to be integrated with Warzone Pacific. So we might as well just do a little bit of a recap of all of the Warzone guns, see where they fall on this tier list here. I'm not an expert. I do play a lot. I watch a lot of videos, fiddle around with a lot of the guns, so I could tell. I think I have a decent opinion. I might think certain guns are stronger just because they feel better in my hands than other ones. Don't kill me. So we're going to start off now with the AK-47 Cold War. To me, that is meta, 100% meta. It's if you can control the recoil and you have no issues with that, and like you could build it so it's not too slow if you know how to control the recoil properly. It's not bad. It's really good. Its TTK is great. It's great sniper support as well. It could do everything you want it to, except it could be a little heavy at times and slow to handle, but still great gun. All right, so next we have AK-47 from Modern Warfare. That, honestly, I have a little personal bias towards it. I actually kind of like this gun. It has some interesting ammo conversion to make it 74U, but it's not good. It's not good. It's decent. It's viable in the right hands. Like, you could do something with it, but don't. AMAX, I still think this is meta. Like, it's really never changed too much. If you have an issue with the recoil, you're probably not going to be able to do good with it because how slow it fires. But this thing is a banger, bro. Like, you hit the upper chest, they're melted instantly, full plates, and it doesn't matter. I have no issues. These two guns are kind of similar to me. I love them both. They're just high skill. High skill, high reward type weapons. If you know how to control your shots, control the accuracy with the recoil, and not miss your bullets, they're good as dead. AN-94, don't use the AN-94. I've tried every single season I've tried to use the AN-94 because it's kind of a legendary gun, has the hyperburst feature. You want to use it? Don't. It's not good, man. It's awful. I tried to use it as an SMG too, and that didn't work. It's just, I tried. AS Val, to me, that is still meta. The only thing that you could put it down here just because of 30 round mag. If this was solos, it is top tier. One of the best things you can choose. Quads, it's a little bit harder to use it. Obviously, 30 bullets. Reload's kind of slow. Well, it's not a terrible reload, but not enough to make 30 rounds doable. But still, it hits like a truck. It just hits like a truck, man. It's just the ammo. That's the biggest issue about it. But I personally still can use it. I can't use it as a sniper support just because 30 rounds, I'm not that good, but I could use it as a backup to like a AR LMG. Double AR meta, it still works to me. FAL, it could compete. It's off meta. Like, you have to be really good. You got to be keyboard and mouse accurate with your shots to make the FAL work. I would honestly put it at viable. For me, personally, it's viable. I'm not the best with single shotguns. The FAL used to be better. It got a bit of a nerf thing because it was bugged with the headshots or something, but yeah. Far 83, a lot of people don't think this is meta anymore, but it's honestly teetering on low meta. I've heard people say they hate it. Like, they can't use it. They can't control the recoil. If you have no issues with controlling the recoil, it's pretty good, but the recoil could be weird at times, so I do understand. I personally just really don't like how slow the reload is on the gun. Handling's kind of slow. Awful iron sights in my opinion. For range, up close they're not bad, but not something I tried it, wasn't a huge fan of it. It's still doable though. Honestly, it could be meta, and I wouldn't say no. FFAR, this has been nerfed quite a few times, but it's still mercs you, man. Like, I'll have a loadout sometimes and some guy just picks it up off the ground and If he's getting his shots off first, or he's just slightly better than me, the FFAR could be a loadout gun. It's good. It's great sniper support still. You can't run it as an SMG though. They've changed it to the point where SMGs up close will still beat it if you're not bad. But it's for like, if you pick this up at the beginning of like prison on Rebirth and you're good. You could beam them from across prison. You could beam them from up close. If you know how to control your recoil, I have no issue with the FFAR. Like burst firing it for range, it's pretty good. Except when it goes side to side recoil, that's uncontrollable. FR56, don't use this. I've tried so hard to use it and it's never going to be good, man. It's not. The burst delay is, I could literally make oatmeal in the time between the burst delays, and the only fun part about it was just that shotgun glitch where it literally will one tap you across the map. That's long gone. It sucks. Don't use it. The Grau is somewhere I would put with the FFAR. It's, to be honest, it has no recoil. Absolutely no recoil. If you think it has recoil, you don't know how to control recoil. I use it to this day. I always use it. Sniper support, I use it. Like long range, it's good. I would put it above the FAR. Just personally, I love the Grau. The cleanest iron sights in the game too. You don't even need a scope for that thing. The Groza, honestly, so many people love the Groza. Every season there's always one, group of TikTokers trying to say the Groza is the new meta. It's not. It's good though. Like I would put it with the FAR 83 below it though. I wouldn't put it with the FAR, like better than the FAR 83. It's good. I use it sometimes. I'll use it as sniper support, but it's like, man, I don't know. Something about it it never does the trick for me. Unless it's like ground loot. And when it's ground loot, perfecto. Kilo 141. I have a soft spot for the Kilo, specifically the Kilo's iron sight. I love it. I use it as my fully loaded ghost class. No iron sight. I use iron sights, and I just kind of use it as an SMG, AR, long range. I could beam people from long range with the iron sights, no issue. I just love it. It's an iconic gun. It ran Warzone. It was the top honcho of Warzone for so long. Even after the patch, it's still controllable. It's not really much recoil. But once you get out to far ranges, holy shit, is this a pea shooter. Shoots marshmallows, man. Shoots marshmallows. We'll put it at top viable. For me, my opinion's strayed because I play Rebirth mostly. So the Kilo is great on Rebirth. But I know if I was on Verdansk trying to beam someone from across the map, it wouldn't happen. The bullets are just, they're not strong. Krig 6. Krig is still great. I don't like it. Personally, I find it kills way too slow. Very easy to control, obviously. I would put it with the Groza, between the FAR 83 and the Groza. I honestly, like, I'm trying to use the Krig a bit more, but it's, when you're up close to somebody using like a meta gun, not up close, like mid-range meta gun, you guys are both going to shoot each other at the same time, you're going to lose every single time, unless they're doggies. If they're dog shit, you might win it, but we're just accounting for good opponents. I would rather use the Farah over the Krig any day. That's just my opinion. M13, kind of like the Krig almost, and it's their low recoil weapon in Modern Warfare. I'd put it with the Kilo. I rather use the Kilo than the M13. A lot of people I see running the M13 and loving it. Hey man, if it's controllable to you and you're able to use it, everyone's different. If that's a gun that works best for you, go for it. For me, I never really used the M13 too well. It's like, I liked it when it first came out, but now it's like, I think there's better options. I don't have issues with controlling recoil. I'm very good at controlling recoil. As you'll see, like, a lot of the top guns are high risk, high reward guns because I love just how fast it can kill. Even if the recoil is bad, I'm usually confident enough to control it once I get a few reps in, of course. M4A1, I still think this is top. Like, it's never been bad. I could use it and it just obliterates people sometimes. The recoil is a little annoying because it's a little uncontrollable, especially from long ranges. But it's nothing that you can't control. It can make you miss a few targets. Honestly, even up close, the M4 is still pretty good. I wouldn't say it's meta. I have a little soft spot for it, of course, but I would definitely say it can compete. If you hit your shots with it and you're confident with it, you're good. Odin's viable, to be honest. I would put it above the FAL. All right, sorry about that. Yeah, Odin, I like, if you see some keyboard and mouse players that are like deadly accurate, they can destroy people with this gun. I could do some work with the Odin, not gonna lie. It's really slow. 30 rounds is very, very limiting, but it hits like a truck. Rebirth, it's not it though. It's not very good on Rebirth. I would like, if you said don't ever use it, I wouldn't be like, that's crazy talk. I'd be like, yeah, okay. Ram 7, I used to think this is meta. I'm kind of going to put it M4 or Ram 7. I don't know. The Ram 7 just hasn't been doing it for me recently. And I don't think they touched it or anything. I think I've just lost my ways with it. I don't know. Honestly, it's really good. Like, it could, as sniper support, it could do a lot. And man, long range, if you have no issues with that recoil, it hits pretty quick. Oh man, it's a weird gun though. There's some, I really hate the iron sights on the Ram 7. I cannot use them. All right, let's try this. This is a Scar 17. I would put it above the FR556, sorry, but Scar 17, I love the Scar. It's one of my favorite guns in video games. They did it so dirty. They need to like well, they're not ever going to, but I wish they would just come out with like a 50 round drum mag to put it to it. I don't care how slow the ADS would be. I would use it. At least it would be viable. 30 rounds isn't going to do anything. Sorry. If this is solos, sure. But no. XM4, it's, I guess you could say it's meta. It's low meta. I don't mind it. I run it with 4. I have a tempered class with it because it's great. It's a 3-level score. It could do good work up close, mid range, long range too. But sometimes like the side to side recoil really bothers me. And I have no issues with vertical recoil. Side to side, most people aren't good with it, and neither am I. But it's still good. It still melts up close for an AR. When it first came out, I was telling people, I'm like, this sucks for long range because it's just impossible to hit people before they put those longer barrels on the Cold War guns to help with recoil. But up close, that shreds. Bruin is viable. It's definitely not what it used to be. It used to be overpowered. It used to be Bruin, everything meta when they had that 60 round clip kind of turned into an AR. But now they've kind of messed with the recoil a lot to the point where it's like if you use that mag, it's gonna be bouncy. You're not beaming people. But just Bruin as a normal LMG, it's honestly not terrible. You got better choices though. A lot of better choices. Fin LMG, I would put the Fin above it. To be honest, if you mess around with the Fin, I'll put it viable. I've been using the Fin trying to make it good. Like, it's not bad, but if you're not using the twist barrels, the ones that make the rate of fire go up, it's useless. The slow rate of fire builds with the Fin, no, not happening. The Holger, that goes straight to the Shadow realm. This is garbage. The Holger sucks. It sucked in multiplayer. It sucks in Warzone. It sucks because G36C is one of my favorite guns in video games, and they butchered it. I tried so hard to make it work when it came out. It can't. I'm sorry. M60, that's right beside the Holger. Honestly, I don't even know which one's worse. The M16 just shoots so slow. You shoot a bullet, you could literally do this before the next bullet comes out. That's how slow it is. You could clap between the bullets. It's not good. It's ground loot that I avoid at all times. And when I get it, and for some reason they had to put a thermal sight on the ground loot version of the M60. Come on, man. You're doing that on purpose now. M91, I have a soft spot for the M91. I like it. It's not good though. It's definitely not off meta, can compete. It's viable. I would say the Finn's better. And the M13 is definitely better. I would rather use the M91, but that's just personal bias because I like the M91. I use it a lot. I honestly think it's not too bad. It used to be ground loot a while ago, and I loved when it was ground loot. But that's bias. You could say don't use, and I would be like, yeah, makes sense. It's just a little bit of a soft spot. MG34, this thing is way too slow. This thing's uncontrollable. Honestly, it's better than the Holger, that's for sure. It honestly kind of shreds up close, but it's like, who uses that? PKM, this to me is top. The fact that people don't think it's meta confuses me because it shreds. It's slow, but man, like I built it so it has no stock on it. Tack laser, the snatch grip, and then the VLK. The recoil is still 0 issues, and it melts, man. Like it's crazy good. I honestly would put it as meta. I know people don't agree with me. That's just my opinion. RPD, it could compete. It's not bad. FAR 83 or the RPD? I rather the FAR 83 to be honest. I'll be straight up honest. In my opinion, I don't like the RPD at all. I try to use it and I can never get it to work. I don't know why. It just doesn't work with me. It's controllable. Hits okay, but man, I don't know. Something about the RPD just doesn't work for me. SA87, another actually good gun, but you know, it's so slow and uncontrollable. I would put it at the end. I would put it above the AK-47 from Modern Warfare and the FAL, but man, is that slow. Hits pretty hard though. Stoner 63, that's still a pretty good gun. I don't think it's meta though. I would honestly put it between the Ram 7 and M4. Stoner 63 used to be my best friend. I would do nothing but use that gun and I would beam everybody. Then they nerfed it a bit because it was way too strong, and it's still good, but it's not the meta. Definitely not the meta. All right, this is the crossbow Cold War. That's just, you put it in niche. Like, who's going to use the crossbow unless you're just trying to troll? Both crossbows go in there. I don't use them unless we're, messing around. EBR 14. I wouldn't use the EBR. I'll put it there. Like, it's better than the Scar, probably. But it's like, dude, if you need an EBR or you need a DMR, just use the DMRs from Cold War. They'll get the job done. Car 98K is the best gun in the game. Easiest gun. You point at their head, they're dead, no matter what. Good velocity, good handling. Just a classic gun. Car 98, you're dead. This is a meme, the MK2. I've never once seen anybody drop an actual gameplay, like a good gameplay with a carbine, because you could literally shoot it. Let me see. Let me think of something. It's honestly like, I can think of so many things you can do in between the shots of the carbine. It's insanely slow. I'm pretty it's great for multiplayer for Modern Warfare, but Warzone, oh boy, is that a stinker. That is a stinker. SKS, this was like the worst DLC gun ever, dude. Like, why would you give it? I'll probably put it better than the EBR. Ugh, it was such a waste. It was such a waste of a DLC. SPR, I think that was like top. I would say like can compete, but I personally would take the car every time out for it. I like the way it looks. I love like the classic look of the SPR, but over the Car 98, it's just not meta. AK-74U, it's such a good gun. Mid-range too, honestly. We're going to have to zoom out here. We're getting a lot of guns. 74U, I would put it around... I'd put it above the FARA. FFAR. Honestly, I would take that 74U over the FFAR. That's my humble opinion. Zoom this bad boy out here. All right. Yeah. 74U is good, but if you miss one bullet or two bullets, you're done. You got to hit your shots. If you're hitting your shots, they're melted. Even at mid range, it seems like you're getting hit by an AR. AUG Modern Warfare, that's another gun that has a soft spot for me. I love it. When I get dropped off in Rebirth, like at the end of the game, like respawning, and they give me an AUG, I'll murk you even if you have a loadout gun, depending on the circumstances. If we're up close, it's great. It could be a great mid-range gun too. I would put it above the AK-74U. Yeah, I would definitely do this. I'm gonna move the M4 down though. I don't think the M4 is better than the Grau, now that I'm thinking about it. The AUG Modern Warfare, you could put it down to viable. I wouldn't get mad. You could put it to meta. I wouldn't get mad. It's a gun that has a soft spot for me. I've always loved the AUG. It's probably one of the first guns I unlocked all the attachments for when Modern Warfare came out. And I just like the AUG in general. It's great. The Bison. It's viable. You're going to get murked by other SMGs up close. It's great for hipfire. I have a hipfire class for it. That's pretty good. I'd put it with the M13. It's not bad, but just use the Bullfrog. Bullfrog, that can compete. It could be off meta. Like I wouldn't, like if you pulled up, you could wipe people out with the Bullfrog. I like it. Sometimes it's a little unpredictable where the recoil is going to go, I find, but regardless, even at mid range, I could still beam people with this, no issues. I would definitely put it in front of the 74U. For me, I do better with the Bullfrog because it's a bit easier to use than the 74U. But in the right hands, the 74U definitely would kill the Bullfrog. Fennec, that's another gun that I just love. It's like the Vector. I love the Vector. Honestly, man, it's good at one thing only: spit distance killing, and it will outkill a shotgun up close. Some of the shotguns, it fires so fast. But other than just up close, it's useless. I always tell my cousin, when you're using it, use it if they're up close, like shotgun range maybe. A little bit longer than shotgun range, but if you have to shoot people from like an AR distance, the bullets aren't going to go anywhere close to it. Don't bother. If you get spawned at the end of Rebirth with it and you're up close to people, you're good. But if you have to do stuff from the far, I rather have the AUG or the UMP. So I'm going to put that here. I love the Fennec. A lot of people probably don't like it just because it's useless other than one up close range. But man, is it ever fun to use? You just got to put sleight of hand on the class. Oh. ISO, I hate the ISO. It's not a bad gun though, but man, viable. I don't like it. I remember when it first came out, when I was playing Modern Warfare, I had an awful time using it, and I just gave up on trying to upgrade it. It just didn't seem like there was a point in using the ISO. It's so forgettable. There's nothing. I feel like anything that MP7 does, it does better than the ISO, so I don't really see what's the point. Yeah, we'll cut that out. Bruin, Odin. I'm going to put it above the Odin, behind the Bruin. Not sure. I honestly don't have it unlocked on my new account. I don't plan on using it. I've picked it up a couple times and I just die every time. KSP 45, don't use it, man. I try so often to make it work. It doesn't work. I honestly would use it over the AN94. LC10, that's, man, it's hasn't been as good as it was when it came out. I don't know if they nerfed it or just people use, I don't know. When it first came out, it felt like it was great, man. It felt like I could do whatever. It was like an MP7. But now it's just like, I never get much like luck when I use it. Luck has nothing to do with it. I think I just suck with it. I'd rather use the FFR than the LC10 and the FARA. I'd put it above the Krig though. I definitely put it above the Krig and Groza. Remember, this is just my opinion, and I'm not the best. Like, I'm probably better than the majority of people, just because, like, I'm well better than the average, but I'm not swag level. Mac 10, that still could compete. It's good. It's a good gun. I'm not a fan. Well, I am. I like it when I pick it up off ground loot. it's great. But like, I'm not probably going to use a loadout with the Mac 10. Surprisingly, it's not bad from mid range. I thought it would be only like a Fennec type of up close thing, but it's pretty good. SPR, yeah, I would put it up here. I'd put it definitely above the Stoner 63. Milano, no, I don't like the Milano. It was great before they nerfed it, but it was a little overpowered. The Milano with the scope was, that Milano was the best. This Milano now, it's back to being don't play. MP5 Cold War, that is definitely meta to me. I would put it above the AMAX. Actually, I would put it above the AK-47 Cold War. This thing just murders up close, man. There's no winning against it. If you're up close against an MP5 from Cold War, outs. You're not making it out alive, buddy. Sorry. MP5 from Modern Warfare, I feel like it's slipping a bit. It's not as good as it used to be just because other guns are getting upgraded. But it's like, man, if you use this gun when it came out, you know how to use it. Like, you know how to control it. You know what fights you can hit. It's good. And the hip fire is amazing. Yeah, I'd put it there beside the AMAX. They're interchangeable, these two. But to be honest, the Cold War is way better. Uzi with the regular rounds, useless. Don't play. Viable when you put those 32 AE round mags, I think they are. They're good, but you're also stuck with 32 rounds. That's good for solos, don't get me wrong, but if you're playing quads, you'll wipe maybe one or two people out, and that's it. So I would put it with the ISO, but I would put it above the ISO. I like the Uzi, but 32 rounds is not enough for me to put it past viable. AUG Cold War, honestly, it's not what it used to be. You cannot use it to beam people across the map, but for mid-range and kind of up close, you can do some damage. Not like SMG up close, but like, across like the hall or halfway through prison. It can rip, but it's bouncy recoil. Obviously, having like a burst delay is just awful in Warzone. I'd put it here. Like, it's viable. It's viable. Yeah, it's viable. Like, you could use it, but you're going to be outclassed. Same thing with the DMRs. They're still good, but they're not what they used to be, and you got to be accurate to do good with the DMR. I honestly rather put it here. I'm not good with DMRs. I could, ground loot DMRs. I'll still use them pretty well, but M16 is the same. I would honestly put it a bit. Honestly, it's the same as the AUG. They're a little interchangeable. I think the AUG shoots slightly faster, but it's a little bit harder to control. Type 63, it's the same thing to me as the DMR. I personally like the DMR a bit better. Find it's a bit stronger. 725, that's a meme. Don't use the 725. There's nothing you can do with the 725 to make it any useful. Unless you're playing solo, not even solos, don't use it. Come on, have some respect. Gallo, that's the mother of all shotguns right there. I would put that above the Modern Warfare MP5. It slaps. It's good. Reload takes forever, but the mobility on it, it's good. Get a throwing knife, get that little flashlight on, start slide canceling. You're good. It's going to be a good time. The Hauer 77. Don't use the Hauer. I only use it when it's ground loot. You could get those rare one taps, but man, is that ever a headache. If you're not up close to them, you lose every gunfight. Because, like, if you have to shoot them twice, you're not going to be alive. Jack 12, that's viable, but if you want it to be at its best, it's going to be the slowest shotgun ever. And, like, movement speed is way too bad. Like, you can't rush people with it. I honestly rather... Yeah, I'll put it right here. I'm honestly going to move the Bruin ahead of this. Good. All right, Model 680, it's... Oh, sorry. All right, the Model 680, don't. It's worse than the Hauer. Don't use it. Come on. Honestly, like, yeah. No, this is a good spot. Origin 12. It's not bad. It's viable. I would definitely take it. I would put it right here, maybe. I would take it over the DMRs because it has a large mag. You kind of make it a bit more mobile, but man, it's slow. And they nerfed it to shit. Doof Doof. Everyone loves the Doof Doof. Who doesn't? Doof Doof is still pretty freaking good, to be honest. I would put it at the low of can compete, especially with fire rounds, but Doof Doof isn't what it used to be. Street Sweeper. This thing is also really slow, but it hits like a truck and shoots pretty quick. I would put it ahead of the R9. The Street Sweeper, the Origin, kind of similar. I just feel like the Street Sweeper is way better, but the reload is so slow. VLK, I honestly like the VLK. I think it could still do work. People just don't use it anymore. I honestly rather... Nah, I would take a Groza over it, but VLK, man, it's super mobile. It shoots pretty quickly for a pump action. I honestly like it. If you're not good with it, though, like if you're not able, if you don't know how to use it, you're not going to hit any shots other than maybe the first. AX50, don't play. I wouldn't use the AX50 in any way. I'd put the Milano over it. Like if you're playing on Verdansk and using the AX50, I would rather you just use the HDR. It's slow. Both of them are slow as shit, but at least the HDR has got range. HDR is viable. For me, I never see it because I play Rebirth. There's no reason to use the HDR, but it's still solid. It's still reliable. If you want a long-range sniper and you want to camp on top of prison and just shoot random people and down them, maybe airstrike them, it's the gun-free Dragunov. That's a meme. Don't use the Dragunov. M82, this thing is absolute dog shit. Meme, it's awful. I actually like throw up inside when I think of just how far it shoots up when you use it. Pellington, it's literally a pellet gun. Don't play it. I can't use the Pellington. I always use it, and takes me like 2-3 shots to kill somebody. I really hate the Pellington. Sorry if you have a soft spot for the Pellington. No. Rytech, it's a meme. It was so bad when it came out, man. It was so slow. The slowest ADS you could imagine, double it. Especially when you put on the thermal sight, you put on the explosive mags. Man, is it ever bad. It's kind of fun to use, though. It's definitely a niche meme thing. Tundra, I think the Tundra is pretty viable. I put it up with the HDR. I've heard some people doing some work with the Tundra. I'm not that person that can put in work with the Tundra, so I'm going to put it pretty low. But like, if I pick up the Tundra off the ground, like ground loot, it's not bad. Definitely would never use it as a loadout. 1911, these are going to be at the bottom. Niche. Like there's no reason to use these pistols unless that's what you're, especially the Deagle. Don't use the Deagle. Actually, I'm just going to put Deagle and don't use. Don't use it. It's awful. Diamatti, this is actually, it slaps. Especially with the movement of the pistol and the TTK up close. If you're good with it, I've seen some sweaty ass motherfuckers pull up on me and just end me with it. So, honestly, would put it. Honestly, man, the Diamatti is actually really good. Like if I find that on the ground, I'm literally like, oh sweet, they're dead. The Diamatti's gonna wreck them. If there's more than one person, probably not. But that's ground loot. M19, it's a good gun to get off the rip. Magnum, don't use the Magnum. The Renetti, like, if you have the Diamatti, don't use the Renetti. The Renetti's okay though. Like I want to put it that low. Still wouldn't use it. I honestly like the Renetti when you land on the ground with it, like from the start of the game. It's probably the best pistol to get at the start of the game. So we'll give it a little bit of a, yeah, we'll put it there. I don't know, fuck the KSP 45, sorry. Snake Shot, that's niche. It used to be great when it was broken. X16, that's your starter pistol. Melee are these, so this is melee. This, Up close, I'm assuming this, we're just going to pretend this is the Cali sticks. They're broken. They need to be removed. Whoever uses Cali sticks, it's usually a crutch because they're not very good players. It's just stupid. It has commando built into it. It's just annoying. Sometimes I get hit by them and they're not even hitting me, but they still get me. But they're just, it's undeniable how strong the Cali sticks are. It could beat a shotgun up close. Don't you think that's stupid? Riot Shield, that's just a niche. All these launchers, like, we're not going to use launch. Honestly, I love the RPG, though, from Modern Warfare. I still use that, and it... Well, we'll put it in don't play. Like, I don't be the guy. I like using the RPG, and I only use it when I'm feeling super toxic because I can't do good that day, so I'll use it. And it's just so cheap and annoying, but I just don't use it a lot just because. Don't endorse that, man. We suffered through the RPG meta at the beginning a bit, and it was not fun, man. It was not fun. Nobody likes it. They're useful, but don't be that guy. And other than that, it's just the launchers here. The Pila, the Strela is a good launcher. The Pila is a good launcher. But all these are just kind of niches. Like, you could put the RPG, this RPG with the other RPG, obviously. But yeah, if you're looking to take down some aircrafts, this little thumper here at the end, I could count 2 times I've played with the thumper and gotten a kill that wasn't a direct impact. Actually, I've hit more direct impacts and gotten hit markers with it. It's awful. Well, let's take a look at our list right here. So right now we got the Kar 98, the MP5 Cold War, the AK-47 Cold War, the AMAX, the Gallo. Oh, we're missing that fast firing LMG. That's what we're missing. I would put that, like, it's still so strong, that gun, the LMG. I would put the LMG, the M282 or whatever it is. I would put it here with the AK-47 Cold War. That thing is slaps. If you know how to control the recoil, which I do, it's a melt machine. And then at second place, I would put the EM2 because that is that's like the meta right now. The EM2 would be here. I'm surprised it doesn't even have the EM2. 1 second, let's cut away. I'm going to go to find one that has the EM2 maybe. Okay, we're back. There wasn't really great options here. So we're going to use this Sigma to identify as the EM2. Work with me here. I would put it, the EM2, the top of the meta, right beside the OTS. Let's pretend like this Joker is the OTS. These two are your best guns. The EM2 OTS are the 2 best guns in the game, assault rifle, SMG wise. You will win your gunfights. If you know how to control the EM2 and be good with it, it's great. I'd put the C58. It's kind of like the EM2, but I'd put it more at the top, can compete. It's still great. I love the C58. And then the OTS, that is just the best SMG in the game. Kar 98 is still the best gun, just because one tap at the head, they're gone. MP5 Cold War with the AK-47 from Cold War, that stuff still melts no matter what. AMAX, the Gallo, MP5 from Modern Warfare, the AS Val. These 3 here, the AMAX, Gallo, MP5, you could interchange them around. AS Val, XM4, there's to me, AS Val's meta if you're in solos, but I understand. But even in quads, I still bring it out because I still love it. I don't know why. If you run like a Grau that could go from all ranges and then AS Val at the backup for up close, slaps. But I'm also not the best. These 2, I love the PKM. I have a hard on for the PKM. These are the Cali sticks. They're pretty broken. Other than that, the STG from Cold War, let's pretend like this is the STG, the Pila. Actually, the Strela, STR, works. STG, it's a little bit off meta, but I would put it like here. It honestly melts, but it honestly just feels too weird because Vanguard's not integrated properly, so they're just shooting kind of to the side like how the Cold War guns were at first. But it still mercs up close. You just can't beam from long range. All right, well, this is it. This seems like my list here. As you can see, I'm probably not like most other YouTubers, and this is probably a different list because I'm not that good compared to like other YouTubers, but I've played a lot of Warzone from season 1 all the way till now. I feel like I have a respectable list here. It's interchangeable, some of these things, because it depends on what feels best in your hands, but for me, this is it. And that's all. It's been Jumper. Take care.